Okay then. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Sultan. My student ID is F1021251072. And right now, I am preparing myself for the project-based exam, midterm examination, ICT for ELT. Or should it be EFL? I forgot. The lecturer is Sir Sultan, PhD. And this examination will be divided in two parts, which is self-reflection by Google Form and recorded presentation. Right. This video would not be edited or cut. This is purely me talking without any edited sections. So from 1 minute to 15 minutes, it would just purely me, myself and I. Alright, let's see the instructions for this exam. The instruction would be to record 10 to 15 minutes of my presentation where I must show my face and the presentation. The audio should be in good quality, of course, and use a presentation tool like PowerPoint, Slide, or Canva to help your presentation, which I have right now. I have a Canva. I don't really have the motivation to create something like a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to explain with images. The next one would be the presentation. The presentation, the first part, would be to give an explanation about my experience with using one AI application that I mostly use, and I mostly use to help me study better. Yeah, about English. About English efficiently, I think. Yeah. And the second part would be to explain my experience of using ChatGPT on speaking practice and how's my opinion. Is it hard? Is it easy? Is it difficult? And where's the most interesting part and which is the most helpful part? And which are the most not essential part? What are my opinions mostly about ChatGPT for speaking practice? And am I going to use it again in the future? You have to be able to explain why. And then the recorded presentation will be uploaded in my YouTube channel. The link would be in here, I assume. Okay, that's a lot. Not gonna lie. It's been, what, 3 minutes already of me explaining the details? Okay. First part. What are my opinions of using an AI tool? One specific AI tool that I mostly use. Let's get to the nitty-gritty, alright? First things first. An AI tool that I mostly use is Gemini. You may be able to see there are plenty of AI tools out there like ChatGPT, Claude, and Google Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, yeah. I never really used that because I've known and I've also tested those AIs capacities, like how they respond, how they are able to summarize what I've given them. I have this kind of experiment, right, where I have multiple AI applications in my phone or my computer desktop. I put the same inputs and I wanted the same output from all of them, and only one of them gives me something satisfactory. That is Gemini. I really like Gemini because I can give you an example right here. So my experiences using Gemini are mostly something engineering based. I like to be able to learn computers and laptops, hardware, softwares using Gemini. This thing is really helpful for engineers. Like this. Answer this. Will testing CPUs with motherboard damage the LGA socket, like permanently? I have CPUs that I bought, but I don't know if it's still usable. So is it safe to test them on a motherboard? I know my grammar and my how I am able to add this part. I was lazy. I'm not going to deny that I was pretty lazy on putting a command on Gemini, so the grammar is, you'll have to you have to pardon me on that. So Gemini told me that testing CPUs is a standard way to check they are dead or alive, mostly the most normal stuff. And the short answer, I usually make Gemini output something short like this. So I have the most practical answer. I don't really want to read something very long, so that's why I outputted Gemini to give me this most short answer and most practical one that I can use in the future, or I can use right now. And after that, Gemini gave me a breakdown of how it could go wrong and how to do it safely, where the risk is physical damage, bent pins, contamination, or can a dead CPU kill a motherboard? It is very rare, it said, where a CPU that is simply electrically dead or burn out internally to kill a motherboard is usually the motherboard will simply refuse to boot. You will see a CPU debug light on some high-end motherboards, or hear error beeps if you input something like a speaker on the motherboard. And they said that here, this part is the most, what's the word for it? Something that you can learn from. I can give you an example. I have a CPU right here. Here we go. So, I've been learning about computers lately, and I've been using Gemini to help me learn about these things. Here we go, the CPU. So, it said that you should look for these red flags on the CPU before inserting it on a motherboard, where it said you should see burn marks. If the gold pads on the bottom of the CPU look charred or black, do not put it in your motherboard. This indicates a catastrophic, blah blah blah. They said these kind of things, which is very important on PC building. Also missing pads, if a gold contact points, like if you have something, if the gold pads doesn't really look perfect, that is a missing gold contact points, which are scratched off or missing. It can also cause an uneven voltage, or it may not work entirely. Deep scratches also. Just to note, the deep scratches are not on this point. It's in the gold contact points, where it scratches on the underside can sometimes have tiny metal burrs that can snag and bend a socket pin, not socket point. And then it gave me something of a step-by-step, just to remind you, these output that Gemini gave me are not given to me without I put the step-by-step process. So I typed out the key points for Gemini to be able to generate the answers for me, like how to test safely step by step. This was generated by me. I engineered the command for Gemini to be able to give me the specific answers for it. So it tells me to minimize the risk of permanent damage. So follow this protocol, it said. Inspect the CPU pads, inspect the socket, zero pressure drop, and minimal setup, and also watch the LEDs. Lastly, Gemini told me something of the verdict, the final verdict. If the CPUs look physically clean and have no burn marks, it is 99% safe to test them. Blah blah blah. That's about it. I usually use Gemini for everything because Claude or ChatGPT doesn't really give me a satisfactory answer. It's not really something you should use if you want to learn about hardware or software, or if you want to learn about coding, for example. I've used ChatGPT and Claude to create a game for me using Scratch. You know the Scratch, the software, right? To be able to create games using it. So you'll be able to command ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, be able to create a code for you, and then you'll be able to copy paste it to Scratch, and it will create a game for you. Mostly, it's pretty decent, but Gemini is much more advanced. I can show you a few videos of how Gemini's performance overall it's better than most of these AIs. Yeah, ChatGPT AI. Look at this. Copilot, Meta, ChatGPT. Get out of here. It's not even that important. I usually use ChatGPT only if there is an assignment that tells me or instructs me to use it. I never really use it for my learnings. It's not practical for me. Yeah, that's about it. And also this, where there was something of a, what's the word, a broadcast on a TV where CNBC Real Time tells NVIDIA where Google AI chip is a threat to NVIDIA. Also true. You can see the RAM prices and the GPU prices for NVIDIA specifically is rising to an absurd amount of prices. I can't even buy a CPU or RAM right now. NVIDIA's is just really messing with everybody. Or is it the retailers? I don't really know. So, I mostly use Gemini for everything. That's about it. The next part, ChatGPT. What's my experience on using it for my speaking practice? I have only 1 minute and 30 seconds left, so let's make this quick. Is it interesting? Is it helpful? Which are the most difficult part and which are the most helpful part? ChatGPT, I don't really like it. Mostly because I've already adapted to Gemini. So the most interesting part about it, maybe the use of sound for it. I can talk to it directly and it gave me a voice line, a guy's voice line. So it answers my questions directly and listens to me. But Gemini is much more advanced, and I'm not going to cheat on Gemini using ChatGPT. It's only for my university instructors. They instruct me to use ChatGPT. And how is it so far? I don't really know. I never really dive into it. And what's my overall opinion on ChatGPT? Like I said, it's not very practical. I never use it on my everyday life. I use Gemini. And am I going to continue using it? No, I'm not. So yeah, that's about it. I think that's all for my presentation. I'm not going to cut this or edit this, so it's purely me talking directly without me having text or anything that I can read. This is all coming from my head. Alright, thank you very much. That's all from me. Thank you.